I'm John Hinkle, Senior Pastor of First Presbyterian Church. This is your Saturday morning preview of Sunday morning sermon. And I gotta be honest with you, totally forgot this morning that I had to do this. It's Saturday, not Friday, and so I look glorious. At least I took off my hat and kind of fixed my hair just a little bit, but I did have hat hair just 5 minutes ago. Probably still do. Anyway, happy Saturday. This Sunday's sermon continues to focus us on this concept of generational giving, meaning that when we give our time, our talent, and our tithe, it's not just for the here and now, which, trust me, your time, your talent, your tithe is important for the here and now. It's what keeps the lights on in this church. It keeps the heat on, and it's kind of cold today. But your giving, whether you realize it or not, has an impact on a generation to follow us. As a matter of fact, last Sunday I said, part of our giving is that we give for the sake of our children and our grandchildren, that we could provide a place of worship for them. And if by chance our children move away, then we need to give for the sake of someone else's child, someone else's grandchild. So Sunday, we're going to continue this theme of generational giving. We're actually going to talk about Abraham again, even though our text is from the book of James. Now, when James writes his epistles to the church, he is frustrated with a group of Christians who claim a faith, yet if you look at their life, they have nothing to show for that faith. In fact, James is credited for coining the phrase, faith without action or faith without work is dead. So James wants to show the church somebody of faith who actually lived out that faith in his life or her life. And so he mentions two people. One's Rahab, but the other is Abraham. And the example he gives of Abraham, who had faith and lived out that faith, is his willingness to sacrifice Isaac. Now, in order to get to that moment, we have to go to the book of Genesis. And if you remember from last Sunday, God calls Abraham to leave everything he knows behind and follow God into the unknown, to a land promised to him. And God promised him to make him a great nation where his children and grandchildren and generations to follow would outnumber the grains of sand. The only problem was, in order to be a father of a great nation, you probably need to start with being a father. And Abraham and Sarah had a difficult time conceiving. So much so that almost all hope had left until finally, at an old age, both Abraham and Sarah, they conceived a child, and that child was Isaac. Yet one day, God says to Abraham, I want you to go to the high hill with Isaac, and there I want you to offer him as a burnt sacrifice to me. Now I know that's a crazy thought for us to think of. Like who would think of this? Like that would be something that we needed to do. Yet for Abraham, he does just that. He takes Isaac and they go to the high hill, and he is prepared to offer Isaac as a sacrifice. Now again, it seems to us at first glance that this is an oxymoron, meaning if Abraham's going to be a father of a great nation, how can he sacrifice his only son? That doesn't seem, it's like he's stopping something before it even starts. But what Abraham recognizes, and what we're going to talk about, is that if God is not part of our generational understanding, meaning if we move forward without God, what's the point? That's what Abraham is saying to us. What's the point? If I can't be faithful to God in the big things, I'm certainly not going to be faithful to God in the small things. So I look forward to being with you this Sunday, either here at the corner of College and Spring or online. I hope you have a great Saturday. Auburn tips off at about 11 a.m. I got my AU Live shirt on, supporting cancer research, and I hope you all have a great Saturday.